So with the cage opened, Trick is being tended to, and the masked man starts scaling the cage, but security is on top of it. They grab this guy. Pierce unmasks him. It's another no-name dude. Maybe this is a cousin of Don Furio, maybe another Black and Brave student. So he's removed. And then as all security has taken this imposter to the back, the door is still open for Trick when another masked man enters the ring, strikes Logan, stomps him. Cody pins Logan, and we get the reveal of Seth Rollins, who in fact did lie on ESPN. And Paul Heyman's reaction here, he is just frightened. And Seth gives a look to Cody before he takes off and leaves. So Seth is back.
This is now being billed as the surprise of the century, at least on this evening. So, yeah, great reaction actually for this reveal. And I like when you had suggested it could just be Seth at the end of all of this, I felt like it would have been very anticlimactic because it was so obvious. But I think what they did last night was like with the decoy guy was good. I think what they did tonight with the other decoy guy was good. And it resulted in at least a little bit of mystery leading to what I think for many people might have been the more obvious, choice here in Rollins. So really strong reaction here. And, this was like essentially his babyface turn where he looks at Cody, acknowledges him, and kind of confirms his status as a babyface.
Yeah. Yep. It probably gets, a promo on Raw and something to follow this up. This might have been the biggest pop of the match, including the finish. Like it was a very big reveal pop for the reveal. So
what's the Mania match?
What would you make the Mania match?
Well, who's left? I mean, it's Logan and Rollins. Do you do that match again?
All I know is I do not know if Seth and Logan is the match. It might be something else.
Who?
Well, I mean, there's not a whole lot of people
Theory.
out there. I don't see it being Austin Theory.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we will see where this one goes, but it's if it ends up being Seth and Logan, like, is that of interest? Like, obviously, it's not going to be the ideal scenario, because the ideal scenario was, of course, him and Braun Breaker, and then Bronson Reed, and now
it would have to be different enough from like the prior match where again maybe a stipulation would make it interesting. Maybe the addition of another person would make it a bit more interesting. But yeah, our Breaker is definitely not going to be ready, right?
My understanding is no, it won't be Braun Breaker. So the door is
Danhausen.
I mean, it just writes itself, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So the door is still open. Drew shows up and nails Cody with the belt from behind. Cody avoids a Claymore and starts fighting back. And then Randy, watching all this, comes over, RKO to Drew. There's a crossroads to Drew. And after Cody hits the crossroads, boom, he's right in position for an RKO. Randy takes it and pins Cody in 24 minutes and 45 seconds. And the post-match, you see Randy, there's a bit of him that has that feels some remorse for Cody, but he stops himself from consoling Randy. And this all comes full circle because Randy, where's 2009 Randy? I can't have you showing any mercy, any sincerity. And Randy, I think the Aleister Black effect has officially taken over Randall.
Yes, it has. Well, I would hope there's a bit more of a heelish edge to him than just this. He took advantage, but he wasn't necessarily.
I do feel this is the story they are telling. Like, as much as we laugh about the Aleister Black thing, I think ultimately that is your destination for Randy, unless the audience is just so emphatic for Randy against Cody. But
they will be.
There's a very likely chance that happens. Randy has been like a giant babyface since he's come back from his back injury. And I don't think it's going to be as easy as they might think to turn this guy. Like, I feel that is the direction they want to go with him, but I do feel it being a struggle. So the post show, they announced Drew will defend the title against Cody this Friday on SmackDown. And then the winner faces Randy Orton.
On what grounds?
because of Drew getting involved. I didn't watch the post show, but that was the announcement by Nick Aldis. So I guess because Drew got involved, Nick is now putting that match at SmackDown on Friday.
Okay.
So I think, it is not going to be Drew and Randy at WrestleMania. Are you pretty safe in assuming that in a one-on-one match?
Yeah.
I think your two options are obviously the three-way, or you do the title change this Friday and it's Cody and Randy. And what is the bigger match for you?
Cody.
Three-way or the one-on-one, Cody and Randy?
I personally don't like three-ways unless they are like organically sort of promoted where each person has a reason to hate the other, which Drew and Orton don't really have that connection. My preference would be Cody and Orton straight up.
I think so too. And I could see a title change on...
Sucks for Drew.
It really sucks for Drew because I think he's been great in this role. I think he's done everything great. I think his work has been great. His promos have been great. But I think they do have a leniency towards just the one-on-one big singles match because there's a good chance this headlines night one. And I think it's not impossible. Like, it's not impossible they could do the three-way, but the fact they're doing all this stuff with Drew and Jacob Fatu, like you still have that to settle itself. Could Drew end up with Jacob Fatu and he's kind of out of the title picture? Yeah, I think that could happen because Cody Randy is probably the biggest match of these available figures that you have.
I just feel the storytelling was a bit cleaner, having Drew and Jacob with already an established feud going on, and then Cody and Orton being able to play off all the history that they have, along with like
because Jacob has nothing at the moment, if not for Drew or like what they tease something with him and Sammy, but I don't see that as a Mania.
Oh yeah, Sammy's out there.
Sammy too is kind of just I don't know what Sammy does at Mania at this point,
but I think that to me, if they want to build Cody and Orton, it's not necessarily the tease that Orton is turning, but the tease that Cody could be turning that I would love to see them explore. The idea that one of these two could be turning, we don't exactly know who. And I'm sure the crowd would prefer Cody.
Yeah. If that is the outcome on Friday, and I'm with you, I see that being the outcome, and we get to Cody and Randy, it's what Paul Heyman had said this week. If you heard him on that Busted Open interview, and he was talking about like the fact that he's so adamant about wanting to know what are our plans for Mania in Saudi Arabia, because if we know where we're going for Saudi Arabia, that will make this year's WrestleMania so much easier to book. And if we go back, if a year ago they knew we want to do Cody and Drew next year, then you're not doing all these Cody Drew matches at WrestlePalooza and on TV. That's the only, I feel that's the only reason people were against Drew and Cody was the fact it's been done so many times at this point. They did that Claymore angle to take Cody out for Street Fighter in like August last year. Like they've been tied together for so long. I think that's the only mark against Drew, a guy that everything else I think he's done a great job in, and it was just, I think, some fatigue on this program, and that's why Cody Randy feels like the superior option to go in.
Orton is also a much bigger, you could argue, mainstream name than Drew McIntyre is. Somebody that like people would recognize from memes, and that he's just got a bit more cachet. And this is, to me, I think a regime that really relies on that sort of like star power in order to headline one of these nights. They like all of this. And again, if no matter what happens, even whether or not Cody wins the title or he's probably going to be entering into the WrestleMania main.
There's no way Cody's not in any equation you come up with. Cody's in this match, and I just don't see them booking this match on Friday for him to come up short yet again.
But all of it really just kind of screams of disorganization.
Yes,
in particular with this main event.
Wait, this card has changed around, just like. Like, I got a semblance of a card right before the Rumble. Like, there have been changes, and this match being one of them.
And this year, they don't even have Dwayne Johnson to blame, okay? They have nobody to blame.
No, Dwayne's in the clear on
They
this
don't have Travis Scott to blame. Like, it's you guys that have really kind of fumbled all of this and your lack of planning up until this point.
And if this is all reactive to the tickets, like, again, I don't think that's a symptom of the card. Like, your ticket sales. I just think that's a lot of bigger factors than the card itself. But for whatever reason, they've like this has certainly felt like a more erratic. Other than Punk and Reigns, that there are several matches that have that have stayed together for like the plans that like I had heard about, like Liv and Vicaire and Jade and Rhea. So I mean, there are some that they have stuck with, but like, yeah, there has been changes as well. February on the Post Wrestling Cafe, we continue our review of Season 2 of WWE Unreal, including a big look at Seth Rollins' fake injury, which culminated in his appearance at SummerSlam. We're going to be looking back at Shinya Hashimoto with a special career retrospective on Rewind Away, plus a review of Extreme Rules 2011, as John Cena announces to the WWE audience that Osama bin Laden has been compromised to a permanent end. We'll also take a look at New Beginning in Osaka, TNA No Surrender, and new members can take advantage of a 7-day free trial. Go to postwrestlingcafe.com and jump on board in February.